What up? It's Ruben from TGE, and in today's video, I want to go over how you can be profitable in the stock market, trading either stocks or options. I'm a big options guy, but you could do either or. They both option world influence the stock market world and vice versa. So you got to know both. But before I tell you how I do that, and so you can get similar results like this, getting 50% year to date, I'm going to show you. I want to share with you. Before I tell you that, I want to share with you what's going on with the current progress, what trades I took, and so on and so on. Okay. So first thing, I want to go over this post right here. Okay, which it explains a lot of what I'm going to be discussing about today. Okay, today is about using things that are forward looking. Okay, a lot of folks, I get a lot of traders here that want to be technical traders. They just want to do the easy work, the least amount of work for the max amount of profits. And it just doesn't work that way in this industry. That's why a lot of traders are not profitable by the end of the year or even month to month or even week to week. They blow up their accounts. But let me show you um, this one success story of somebody who's using the tool that I built, and I might be a little bit biased because I built it, but it works like a charm. And so this trader who's in the community and is a Gextron user increased their portfolio by 71% year-to-date performance. So here's a screenshot of them. Amazing, since January. So from January till July, I mean, to hold a 71% year-to-date performance, that's incredible. That's a lot better than my 50%. He's beating me by 21% right now, which is says a lot about being able to stay consistently profitable throughout the year. That's hard work. So congrats to him. And it's due to a tool that he's using, which is again Gextron. And it's not just to toot my own horn, but I'm going to explain to you why Gextron is so powerful and why it takes you to the next level. Okay, so one of the TGE members shared his account progress with me. His account is up 71% for the year. His chart. Here's what he sent over. And he sent me the chart, but he sent me another message saying Gextron is for sure a reliable tool, and I'm using the levels. He's living proof that when you combine the right tools with the right mindset, things just start to click. Okay, so here's what's working for him. He's using Gextron to identify where big moves can happen, no guesswork. So that's what Gextron does really, really well. Where are the biggest levels? Where is it that price is going to meet at some point? And when it meets there, not if, when, how is it going to react? How is it going to do this and that, right? That's the whole point of like giving you like, hey, this is the biggest level, watch out. He trusts the plan, so he doesn't panic exit trades too early. He keeps showing up and refining and staying hungry to improve, right? And so the last part is critical, right? Stay hungry, improve. Over the past year coaching, I've realized this. Most people say they want to. Okay, this is a whole nother subject that I don't want to get into. But the point is, one of his main tools is Gextron, okay? And I want to show you another post here, and I'm going to show you an example of a stock trade so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here as well too. I saw a video of a gentleman, you see these all over YouTube, where it's a very technical analysis ready. I get a lot of traders coming into this community saying, I just want to learn how to read the charts, which is a common desire that I hear from a lot of traders coming into this community. And while I get the appeal, that mindset is exactly what gets you blindsided. Just like this one trader. So I watched a YouTube video, and this one single trader was using VWAP projection, value high areas respected, prior day PLC aligned, bearish candle structure. Technically, it's flawless. Like it's to a T what you want to hear of a short, right? But this was just recently too. The news dropped about Nvidia resuming GPU sales in China, and then the market ripped against him and instantly destroyed his trade. And the wildest part is that he said he was up $100 and should have taken it. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? That's what a lot of traders do. Technical analysis, and they say I should just what's the saying is it's usually see green, take green or something like that. It's a lot of guessing. Okay. When I hear traders talk like that, and if you talk like that, it's because you don't have a setup that has a high risk versus reward. Because if you knew the math, how many times you had to win per 100 trades, and if you knew your risk versus reward, you would know that you don't need to see green to take green, and or take green and see green and whatnot, right? You just play the setup. If you knew the math to becoming profitable, you have never just have that in your thought process. You're like, whatever, next trade, go. Because you know that the outcome is going to be this. You just got to follow the system, right? That's proven. So most traders haven't done back testing, journaling, or the data work. So most of you cling onto the charts and just kind of hope, right? It's a lot of like, I wish, I hope this, and that. That's not how you trade. Again, this industry is really easy to get into, this career, this skill, or I guess trading is very easy to get into, right? But just because it's easy to get in doesn't mean it's going to be easy to succeed. That's what makes it the barrier to entry so low. But this is an industry built off of billions of dollars of institutional fund. You think it's going to be based off of triangles and squares on the charts or some VWAP? No, it's a lot more complicated than that. You need the real edge is not in the chart. It's knowing, at least from a retail trader perspective, is what the market expects via IV, implied volatility, and skew, IV skew. Where price shouldn't go, right? What are the expected ranges? Okay. When is positioning shifting? Understanding delta, the option Greek delta, and because that leaves sentiment clues, right? There's a lot of clues and a lot of important information in the option premium that if you just had a model that knows how to read that, which again is what Gextron does, and just simplifies it down for you to take action in real time, that would take a lot of the guesswork off, right? And you would be like, "Oh, I saw that coming." And I'm going to show you the example here on ACHR, on ACHR. I'm going to break down that trade for you so you can see what I'm talking about. And I said, this is why I push Gextron levels, IV data, expected move modeling, and flow tools. Because TA alone will betray you the moment sentiment shifts. And it always shifts before the chart tells you, right? The charts are laggers. By the time you finish seeing whatever it is that you're gonna see, it's gone. It's you're either late or you're gonna get clapped soon. So if you're just here to recharge, you're setting yourself up to experience exactly what happened to that trader. And that happened to me too. Okay. So I was in the same boat where I was like, I'm a technical trader first, but it's wrong. It's not there's better, right? And if you can do better, I think that you should always go that route, which is learn math, learn probability, statistics. Hold on, let me pull up one of the books that I read that I love for getting into the mindset. I like this book right here. Okay. I can't even pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try it. Bayesian Statistics the Fun Way. This gets you into the right mindset of probabilities and statistics. It says understanding statistics and probability with Star Wars, Legos, and rubber ducks. It's great, right? This is one book that I like that gets me into a probability mindset, more of a mathematical mindset. That's why I'm able to achieve this type of result. Okay, so that's one book right there. So if you want to take that book, I highly recommend it. So understand risk, read the sentiment before the candle prints. Now, this goes into the next subject that I want to talk about, which is the wins. Okay, the wins that we've had recently. ACHR is a trade that we took, and there was two positions. One was an August contract and the other one was an October contract. And so the August contract, we took our money at 65%. That was one position. So we banked off of that. And we held the October calls for our ER target to hit, because they're going to have earnings here coming up soon. And it actually hit 22 days early. Okay, because I posted this 6 days ago. They have earnings here in 22 days or so. And we hit 73% on that. We took majority of our October calls, And now we're just kind of sitting on runners. It is right now the runners are sitting at 94%. It's possible that right now we're up pre-market like 0.74%. So it's gonna be up over 100% for sure for today. And if it goes higher and if it's got more strength, then it's gonna go higher. And again, I'm gonna use Gastron to figure out these levels and what the next targets are gonna be. Now, with that said, let me break down the trade for you because it's about using tools that are forward looking. Okay, so here is the chart for ACHR. Okay, and this is how a lot of our trades end up playing out. Okay, the thing to understand about how I'm able to sustain this win rate for the year is because I know my math. Okay, I know what my strategy does. I know the win rate, and let me tell you, the win rate is not high. It's like 50%. On a good month, 60%. Most of the time, it's between 45 to 50%. I have the sheet somewhere, but the point is that the risk versus reward is there. So I don't need to win frequently to see enormous returns on my main fund, okay? Because I know that I can lose a serious amount, but when I find that winner, it's going to wipe out the losses and make me more profit. And that's usually what ends up happening. ACHR is a great example of how using forward-looking tools can give you a big edge in the market. Now, Gastron, I developed it to read the option premiums, read all the option data that's coming in, um, and make forward-looking projections. Okay, and so earlier, like 6 days ago, I told my private Telegram group to get into around this area right here. It was like around $10. It was around this day, I believe, or it actually might have been here, somewhere around there. We have this level called P-Trans. Okay, P-Trans is a level that Gastron shows us that tells us this is the start of a positive transition. But this shows us days in advance, or as the day is going by, because it's always updating as option orders are being executed. It's always being updated, and so it's telling me here, okay, as long as we can sustain above 10, we're gonna go hit. We're gonna aim for our ER target to the upside. We're in a bullish sentiment uh, area in a zone, right? But it's telling us be aware there are resistance levels, big resistance levels here at 10.50, $11, and $12. Okay, and as of pretty much since we got into this trade somewhere around this time frame, um, we have been seeing those resistance zones right here. Okay, and our trade has been going up there for about between 35% and sometimes even back to break even. But we're still holding because we are above. We're being mechanical and systematic about our trade because we know that the risk versus reward is worth it. From P-Trans to ER target, that's a wonderful move. This move is about, let me see, it's about a 1-to-7 risk versus reward ratio. 1-to-7, or actually 1.1 to 7.81 to be exact. Okay. And so that is, like I said, a wonderful risk versus reward. You can see how I can handle a 50% drawdown on or a 50% win rate, but still come out profitable because we have a 1-to-7, and that's what we try to aim for. Okay, most traders want a high win rate, like an 80% win rate, but you have a series of like small winners and bigger losses. It doesn't make any sense. You end up getting wiped out in just like a series of losses, and it sucks. And that's why most traders don't make anything meaningful in their trading portfolio or can't even grow it. Okay, so that's the trade. Right now, what do I do with ACHR at this point? Well, when the market opens today, I need to reassess all the levels that we're at, and I need to see where the next target is based on implied volatility, which again, Gextron does that for me all the time already. Like, luckily, I have that thing programmed. It could just do it automatically on the fly. All I gotta do is just look up the ticker, see what the values are, and then just put it on my trading view chart, and that's it. All right. So I hope. So the point of this is, again, if you want to have any edge in the market, focus on tools and metrics that are forward looking. The option premiums can give you a lot of clues in the IV. Okay, that is the edge. And if you don't want to do a lot of the work, find a tool that can do that for you on the fly. All right. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below, and I'll put a couple links in the description box, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.